Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm meadsyreplays. Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we have another tank that is very, very rarely played. You do see it, and you can see it often, but not as much as you should, and definitely not as much as it used to be. Now, the tank is actually a fantastic tank that's kind of been sort of left behind. It is a premium tank, and of course we are talking about the WZ1122. Now, this is a Chinese heavy in tier 8, of course. Now, when this was first released, it was amazing. Honestly, this tank was so good, and it was definitely underestimated. People didn't really play it too much. They just see it as another tier 8 heavy. And, you know, the Object 252U was the sort of heavy to go to. But this was equally just as good as the 252U. Now, we're going to look at the stats, and then we are going to get into a couple of games. So, your turret armor on this thing is 195 millimeters. So, decent. You know, there isn't that much weak points in the turret, so even though it just says 195, it is actually fairly strong. Now, your whole armor is fairly strong as well, 140. Now, it is sloped, so some parts are better than the other. Of course, the lower part is quite weak, but the upper part is quite strong. But as soon as people do switch to APCR, then they will be able to start penetrating you. And your DPM, 1,893. So yeah, nothing special about the DPM, nothing to write home about. It's kind of average, really, for a tier 8 heavy. You've got a 12.6 second reload, and your penetration is 226 on your APCR and 305 on your heat. So decent heat pen, and of course that is with running calibrated shells. You've got 66 on your HE. You've got a 400 alpha gun, pretty standard to be fair with the damage. 340 on your heat and 500 on your HE. Your aim time isn't great at 5.5, and in fact it sucks. But again, most of the tier 8 heavies do suck when it comes to dispersion and when it comes to aiming time. So the dispersion is 0.389. You do only have 6 degrees of gun depression as well, which can suck, so do bear that in mind. And you've got a 42 kilometers per hour speed. So the speed's quite nice. You know, it's like a Russian heavy. You know, they're quick, fast. The DPM's low. They're strong. The turrets are strong. And but of course it is Chinese. It's not Russian, it is Chinese. Now, I've had this tank an awful long time, and it is one of my go-to tanks when it comes to sort of ratings, or if you play tier 8 tournaments. Then of course the Object 252U is one of those tanks, and this is another. So of course, because I haven't seen it for a while, again, you do see it, but not as often as I'd like, because it is a good tank and it deserves to be played. And of course, it all depends on the meta, and as it's sort of been it's kind of been left behind, really. And that doesn't just go for this tank, that goes for a lot of premium tanks. And we're going to talk about the next tank that we never see, which is actually a free tank. So we will get to that in the next couple of days. So we are going right on this map. We are up against some tier 9, so you do have to be very, very careful, because again, what if you're bottom tier, the tank don't seem all that. Now, I'm not going to win this game, but overall I think I did okay. But to be honest, I just wanted a bit of footage to show the weaknesses, the strengths, and of course just the general gameplay. So we're going right. Most of our team have gone right. There's a couple still basically in spawn, and there is a couple of the red tanks around. So I'm just going to be patient. I don't want to sort of get penned by everything. And there we have the Super Persian. Now, he hasn't got the greatest of pens, but he managed to pen me very, very easily. So, and I'm still getting penned from some annoying tank at the back, which is very, very annoying. So I do have to move, because I don't want to just sit here losing all my hit points. So I do have to move. And as you can see, they're not doing too much damage. So I'm just looking, and I do believe it's the Pantera. up there. So decent tank, decent DPM, decent reload. Of course, it is the auto reloader. So yeah, I do want to be very, very careful of him. And of course, now I do want to be very careful of the Borask behind. And I really want to go and deal with that Pantera, because there he is sitting in a bush. So because he is sitting in a bush, I am sort of sitting there thinking to myself, like, surely he can't be that good. If he's just sat at the back of the map while his team have pushed forward, he can't be that good of a player. But at the end of the day, he's literally penetrated everything. So, well, apart from that. So I do only have 691 hit points left, but I do want to sort of push him and get rid of another quick tank, and you know that will definitely help. Even though he is sat at the back of the map, he's clearly penetrated a tank that has armor, so he can still do damage and he can still be a nuisance. So of course I do want to clear him, but at the minute we are losing. I've only got 1 kill. I've only got 1700 damage at the moment, and this is where we should have really switched to HE to try and clear that guy, but I didn't want to risk it. And of course I then had to low roll. So he is still alive, albeit he's only on 64 hit points, so he should be dead hopefully very, very soon, because we need him to. And there he goes. So it is now a 5 versus 5, but a lot of us on our team have lost a lot of hit points. There goes the IS-3 defender. There's still a couple of tier 9s out there as well, couple of tanks that are still full hit points. So even at this point, I'm sitting here thinking, you know, even now I know that this isn't going to be a win, but the aim of the game is then just to farm up as much damage as I possibly can, and at least just try, because you never ever know. Like, you never know. That's why I always say to people, never give up, because you never know. I've managed to win a 1 versus 7 before when I was on 1 HP. Like, it's crazy. I've done it a very, very long time ago, but it was done. So, and I mean, yes, supremacy definitely helped, but let's not talk about that. So now the Boras, who I did want to deal with a very long time ago. Again, he's been a nuisance to me. So let's just switch to the HE, just see if we can get lucky. But unfortunately, we do low roll our HE. So he's still alive, but again, it's now a 2 versus 5. I'm a 1 shot. My teammate, where is he? He's pretty much a 2 shot. So I'm not holding any hope whatsoever. And there he is now gone. So 34 hit points. Can we make it a 1 versus 4? We do need to start bouncing, and we did manage to bounce a shot there from the Tiger, so that at least gives me 1 more shot. We get a nice bounce from the BZ-176. The Tiger misses, so do I have time for at least 1 more shot before I die? No, I don't. You all thought I was going to have time for 1 more shot, but you know, I tried my hardest, but the team sort of just vanished, and it is what it is. I'm not going to blame the team. The enemy were better than us at the end of the day, but you know, that's what this tank is capable of doing. Of course, it's not capable of doing it every single game, so don't take my battle for a reference. But yeah, you have the opportunity to do nice damage. You do have the opportunity to have nice games in this thing, and to sort of rack up a lot of block damage as well. So let me know in the comments, do you own the WZ-1122? And if so, do you play it? If not, why? Let me know why, because it is a beautiful tank and it is very good when played correctly. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. I'm meadsy69, and I'll catch you all soon. Bye bye.